He promised to help his friend, but he couldn't. And because of his broken promise, a life was lost. That night, the words of Hazratali thundered in his heart. A graceful refusal is better than a lengthy promise. Brothers and sisters, how many times have we given people hope with empty words? How many times have we tied hearts with promises we could not keep? Watch this story till the end, because it might just change the way you speak forever. If this story touched your heart, share it, and subscribe to Deen in Minute for more emotional Islamic stories that bring you closer to Allah. Never promise what you can't fulfill. Hazrat Ali's lesson. The night was silent, but not peaceful. Clouds gathered over the small town, swallowing the moonlight and leaving the streets dim. In one corner of the town, a young man named Zion walked quickly through the alleys, his heart heavy with secrets he carried for too long. He was known as kind and generous, but inside he was breaking. Zion had always believed that good intentions were enough, that making promises, even if he could not keep them, would comfort people for a while, and maybe Allah would forgive him if he fell short later. But as years passed, those promises began to feel like chains, tightening around him, pulling him into places he never wanted to be. That evening, his story began. It was after Maghrib when his closest friend, Horace, knocked on his door. Horace was trembling. His small business was falling apart, debt collectors were circling him, and his wife had fallen sick. Zion, Horace said, his voice cracking, "You are the only one I trust. Please, lend me some money, even if it's a little. I promise, I will return it within a few months." Zion's heart burned with compassion. He opened his mouth instantly. "Yes, of course, brother. I will give you what you need. Just wait a few days." But inside, he knew he had nothing to give. He had already promised his cousin money for his studies, pledged help to his neighbor for fixing their roof, and even told his younger sister he would pay for her wedding expenses. His words were heavy with promises, but his pockets were empty. Horace looked relieved, tears in his eyes. "May Allah bless you, Zion. You saved me." Zion smiled weakly, but when Horace left, he sat in the dark, trembling. He thought of Hazrat Ali ibn Abu Talib's words he once heard in the masjid. A graceful refusal is better than a lengthy promise. At that moment, those words pierced his heart. Why did he promise what he cannot give? Why didn't he just say the truth, that he had nothing? Wouldn't that be more merciful than giving false hope? The days went by. Horace waited, but Zion had nothing to offer. Each time they met, Horace's eyes carried hope, and Zion's lips carried excuses. "Just a little longer, brother. Inshallah soon." But soon never came. One night, a loud knock shook Zion's door. He opened it to see Horace, his face pale, eyes swollen from crying. "My wife," he stammered, "she's gone. The medicine I couldn't buy, she didn't make it." Zion froze. His heart cracked like shattered glass. He wanted to scream, to tear his own chest open. His promise had killed not with a weapon, but with false hope. Horace's hands trembled as he pointed at him. "You promised me, Zion. You said you would help. I waited because of your words." And now he couldn't finish. His voice broke into sobs, and he walked away into the night. Zion collapsed to the ground, sobbing. His house walls echoed with his guilt. The words of Hazrat Ali echoed louder than thunder. A graceful refusal is better than a lengthy promise. Days turned into weeks. Zion became a shadow of himself. He stopped meeting people, stopped smiling. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Horace's broken face, his wife's empty bed, and his own weak promises strangling him. But Allah is the turner of hearts, and sometimes pain is the teacher that no book can replace. One day, as Zion sat alone in the masjid, an old imam approached him. "My son," he said gently, "your face shows a storm inside you. What is it that burdens you?" Zion poured his heart out. The imam listened silently, nodding, eyes filled with both compassion and firmness. When Zion finished, the imam said softly, "Do you know why Hazrat Ali said those words? Because truth, even when painful, saves lives. A lie, even coated in sweetness, destroys them. A refusal, given with kindness, allows a man to seek another path. But a promise, unfulfilled, blocks his path and breaks his trust. Zion trembled. Then I am guilty of breaking not only trust but lives. The imam placed his hand on his shoulder. Repent, my son. Allah's mercy is greater than the oceans. But learn this. Never bind people with promises you cannot fulfill. Speak the truth, even if it stings. That is true mercy. From that day, Zion changed. He began speaking with honesty. When people asked for help he could not provide, he smiled with humility and said, "Brother, I wish I could, but I don't have the means. May Allah open a better door for you." And strangely, instead of anger, people respected him more. His words were no longer chains, but lanterns of clarity. Years later, Zion built a small business by Allah's grace. This time, he helped people with action, not promises. And every coin he gave it instantly, saying, "Take this now, for I cannot promise tomorrow." But the memory of Haris never left him. One evening, he saw Haris in the masjid, now older, carrying his young daughter by the hand. Their eyes met. Haris still carried the wand, but he also carried forgiveness. Zion approached him with tears. "Brother, I failed you once. I cannot bring her back, but I swear by Allah, I will never again hurt another with empty words." Haris sighed deeply, then nodded. "May Allah forgive us both." That night, Zion prayed long into the darkness, whispering, "Ya Allah, let my tongue never promise what my hands cannot give. Let me be among those who speak truth, even when it is hard." And from that moment, he became known not as Zion the Promiser, but Zion the Truthful, because he finally understood the wisdom that had once slipped through his fingers. A graceful refusal is better than a lengthy promise.